Lisa Malia, for those of you that don't know me, founder of the Feminine Leadership Lounge and the Folk Leadership Institute, and of this, the Midlife CEO. What I really want to focus on is the state of the world today, what it means to our leadership, what it means to this lifetime and this timeline that we're in, and how we show up for it as the leaders of this world, coming into our matriarchal timeline, coming into presence and purpose as CEOs and directors and leaders of our communities and our workplaces and our careers, our career paths, however that looks for you, in the way that that changes throughout our time as leaders and what's really being called for us right now in this moment. Excuse me, I've been traveling a little bit, and so I've picked up some mysterious congestion, whether that's just from all the altitude changes or weather changes. I've been in so many different climates as well. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at some point. Also, this is just an opportunity to check in. Yes, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Midlife CEO program, but this is really a check-in for all of us today, to land in community together, talk about what's happening in the world, how it's affecting us. Just relax and take it in. You don't have to feel like you need to engage in this moment. There's a lot of engagement happening right now. I just want you to be able to relax, kind of check in with yourself, tune in a little bit, get comfortable, make yourself tea, pick up a notebook and journal and draw, and just do something that feels good while you listen to this conversation. But let yourself energetically feel into this community and what we're creating here and what this means for us in the year coming forward, as we also turn the corner from the year of the snake into the year of the fire horse. So I'm going to weave all this together in this conversation for us today. That being said, if you do have a cup of tea or something that makes you feel good, I've got some of my essential oils. I'm just going to rub those on myself. Whenever I can't go and do something more luxurious, like a bath, we'll always have some essential oils handy, whether that's in the car or at the desk, to help me ground myself and remind myself that I am here and in my body, and that it can also just awaken and revive my senses to change the energy and shift it up when I need to. This one is a heart resonance oil. So if you know my history with heart space resonance, I'll be talking a little bit more about that too as the year goes on. We have February coming up, Valentine's Day, Heart Health Month, and as women, our heart health and our breast health are essential. Plays a lot into our leadership in the conversation we're having here today. And that connection, since we're on the topic of heart to body to womb, of who we are, that soul, mind, body, heart connection, tending to it and listening to it. We have been doing some deep, deep listening, especially over the last year during the year of the snake, as individual beings doing a lot of inner work and a lot of shedding, turning the corner into the year of the fire horse, which is really asking us to come together in community, to do this work together in community, and, look around at who's with us and see how we can support each other as we put our hooves to the ground, our feet to the ground. We come up off of our bellies as the snake, bellies to the earth, really listening. We take all that intuition that we've been honing and we keep crafting it and tuning into it. We're just listening a little bit differently through the wind as we have our feet on the ground. We look around as the horse in community, as we charge forward with that energy in community. So we aren't meant to do this alone. We are here together, keeping all that wisdom that we got during the year of the snake with us, and really listening for what's being called of us now, taking our place in that community and showing up in a way that really supports the whole, the collective, ourselves. And so in order to do that, a lot of our rituals, we're going to have to elevate them. We're going to go deeper. We're going to go higher. We're going to go wider. And we do this because we can do this together. And so those are some of the things that we are going to do. The Midlife CEO is an 8-week program. And so I'm going to go through all 8 of the themes that we're going to touch on during those 8 weeks. And I'll invite you into that program. I would love to see you there. We have a $50 discount happening right now with the code EVOLUTION. There's a payment plan available. If those don't work for you, reach out to me. We'll set up something that does work for you. But let's get in there. This is a really wonderful way to lock in and prepare ourselves in community for the year of the fire horse. And so this is for women of high intent, purpose, and desire to lead. You've got this mission. The time is now. We really There really is no more time to wait with what's happening in the world. I think there's a lot of activation happening in the world. There's a lot of things crumbling and falling apart, especially if you're here in the US. This is absolutely affecting everybody globally, but directly impacting those of us in the US with our government, the way our government is turning on its citizens, our reaction to that, how it's affecting the work that we're doing, or even the way we show up in the work that we're doing. And all of those things are going to be key components for sustaining ourselves so we can sustain our missions and our vision in a very values-aligned way and in a way that will create a new world order. Because that's really what we're doing here. This feminine leadership movement has been a long time coming. I've been doing this a long time. And I know that so many women, I am not alone. We feel this desire, this calling to rise up, and this is what it was for. We were meant for these times. We were born for these times. Everything that we have been doing has led us to this point, and this is exactly why we are here right now. So I'm going to lock in. This is what it's about. We're going to lock in. And a large part of that is honing that self-trust in ourselves as feminine-bodied beings in positions of leadership so that we can co-create, we co-weave and we co-create a new world the way we want it to be, the way we see it, the way it ought to be, in ways that are regenerative, sustaining, that benefit the whole. They are life-giving solutions. And I have loads and loads and loads of resources to help you on that path. But I really wanted to kick off the year of the Fire Horse with this program so that we could do this work together and have it be really timely and potent. I didn't want to just send you off to something to go do for yourself. I wanted this to be very high level, very focused, very intentional, and in community. That is the message that we're getting, and that is the only way we are going to change things if we co-create together. So we're doing this with other high-intent women, co-creating the way that we want things to be, the way they ought to be, to support each other in our own individual work and in the collective work. So we can hold each other's visions and see how our visions weave together, networking, building, reflecting, strategizing, everything from the inner world to the outer world. As far as rituals go, I just came back from a trip to Mexico and spent a full week on the earth in ritual with women in circle and got to put my hands to the earth and pray multiple times a day. This is an ancient ritual, what I'm remembering that I crave to bring it into my daily practice. Something I've done before, but never as part of my daily ritual and practice. And having that connection to the earth when I was in Mexico was so powerful. To feel her pulse, her love, her courage, her beauty, her rawness, her strength, her courage, all those things, all those messages, all that wisdom that we get from the earth, to drive upon that, to inform that, to help me show up and stay grounded, and then rise up onto my feet into Fire Horse energy, and reminding myself to do that every day. To put my hands on the earth and then rise up, feet to the ground, and take my next steps. So those types of rituals and practices we'll do in community, but we'll also help you craft ones that are going to help you go deeper and stand taller in the work that you do so that you feel like you have that steadfastness to go forward. My question is, how steadfast can I be in my convictions while also diving into and trusting the flow of life force energy and feeling that flow of life force energy with steadfast courage so that I maintain that movement of the Fire Horse so that I can continue trusting life and my place in this pack, in this herd, in this movement and my work, right? We're going to talk more about the body. So we're talking about the energetics of womb and heart space, but we're going to dive into body optimization as well, and what that means as a feminine bodied being who is in tune with her heart and her womb and the earth. And a lot of the body optimization things we see online are designed for men, but there's certain things as women that we can dive into to optimize our energy as well. And so we're going to dive into some of those, especially as as women in midlife or approaching midlife. Maybe you're in perimenopause, maybe you're postmenopause. All of these shifts change over time, right? So what was working before may not be working now. And so how do we roll with that? How do we go with that? How do we move with that? So we're not so fixated on one thing, that we are willing to let our body show us what it needs, optimize it, our relationships, so we can hone in and cultivate that vitality within us to keep feeding ourselves with our desires and our pleasures and our joys to buoy us up, but also show us what we really want. Those things are not meant to be suppressed. They show us what we want in life. They show us where the gaps are between what is and what ought to be. And as we co-create this world in our work for the year ahead, what ought to be and what we want and what we desire is essential. These are not frivolous things. These are essential things to keeping us able to move in a forward direction with not just conviction, but with also energy, vitality. We've got to have our vessel well cared for, well tended to, well loved, well appreciated, all those things. And know when it needs rest, when it needs care, when it needs love, when it needs attention. We are not meant to check out of our vessel and just over-sacrifice for all the things that is the old way. We're not doing that anymore. That is not what we are here for. When we are taking in a lot of news, when there are major tragedies happening, and they do seem to be happening at a much quicker rate. Also, we have more access to them with social media. We are seeing more, and we're seeing things in real time. And so our bodies and our emotions are going to have reactions to that. And we are going to have all kinds of reactions, right? Including outrage and rage and sadness and despair, and maybe even loss of hope or lack of desire, right? So if we think it's pointless or meaningless. So sticking to some of those things that trigger us, I want you to know that first, it's normal to have a reaction to the injustices that are out there. And it's really how I want you to look at it and focus on where the rage, the outrage, the shock, the despair is coming from. Is most often it's because of an injustice that we see in the world. And when we see that, we can't help but notice the unfairness or the problem, right? The harm. And that information is there for you to look at exactly how, let me say that a little bit differently. That rage is information. It is fuel. It is sacred information. It is your sacred rage and your outrage that will show you where exactly those gaps are between what is and what ought to be in the way that you are having, in the work that you're doing, in the way that you're showing up. It's actually really important and potent information. It will direct you and your purpose and help you discern. Those feelings are actually really important to listen to. They are your sacred information to help you process what's happening. And I want you to give yourself time to do that. And also take a step back, breathe into it and look at it and see where specifically you feel that having an impact and where you feel that you can use that as fuel for the work that you're doing. Keeping that in your view, in your worldview, and seeing where that might fit into what you're doing and how you're showing up and how you can contribute to it. And this will look so different for every single person. And that is why community is essential and is completely the key to all of our success and all of our thriving, because there's no way any one of us can do it all. The example I'll use is what's happening in Minneapolis right now. We have protesters on the street. We have news media, we have social media, everybody playing a different role. But then we also have the people that are unseen, right? We have maybe the people that are taking care of the children. Somebody is keeping them safe. Somebody is keeping them fed so that the women or the men that are on the streets can do that work on the streets. Or we have the artists and the creators and the storytellers letting us know what's happening, keeping our humanity intact, giving us a perspective on the emotional and physical toll of what's happening and how this is affecting our communities, how this is affecting our hearts. And as we look to our leaders to change things and feel like there might not be hope out there. They help us find a sense of meaning in all the meaningless things that are happening, and reground into the things that we love and why we're here, and find that hope again. And even in the most impossible of circumstances, these and so many other examples of ways that individuals can contribute to a bigger movement together. Of course, that's something that's happening on a local level and having an impact nationwide. But it gives you an example of also how we can turn that type of energy inward into this community as we create communities within communities to help us stand tall and do the work that we need to do in the world so that we can still show up and do the work that that's still necessary to get done in a way that we are supporting each other and supporting our work, but also applying some of these principles. So we're coming together with like-hearted women to co-create with our work, hold ourselves up, and move forward with. This entire 8-week experience is ultimately a reclaiming of rites of passage. We don't do enough of that in modern day culture and society. As women going through this next phase of life as feminine leaders in this point and place in time, this time that we were born for and called for, we are remembering and reclaiming this rite of passage into the matriarchy, which is the energy that is so needed for this crumbling patriarchy that is causing so much harm and destruction. It's the matriarchal energy that will be the medicine for this, for leading in this new way. So if we are to reclaim that, rites of passage are absolutely essential. And this 8-week journey, this 8-week live series that we are doing together, live, starting, kicking off to lock in for the year of the fire horse, is all about that. Reclaiming, remembering, and going through this rite of passage, this anointing, this activation to create clear intentions, to claim our power, bring that energy from the womb up into the heart, move forward with it, and trusting it. And all of that, like I said, we're weaving together just a really, really potent experience to create a movement. This movement it's been brewing for a long time. But what I'm so excited about is that we get to actually bring this to life. And I know that sounds like maybe a little bit odd to say that I'm excited about that when there's so much harm being done in the world, but coming together with women who are willing and wanting and desire this work is what excites me, because I know how powerful we are when we gather, and I know what we are capable of when we lock in together to set our hearts and minds towards the world that we want to create. And that's what gives me hope, and that's what gives me possibility, because I know that this group of women have what it takes. And so this is what we're doing. We are doing it. The time is now. And yeah, I'm a hell yes for that. Let's go. Let's see, where else are we heading with this? So let's see, we talked about, we're going to go into the womb space energy, menopause energy, body optimization, trusting our intuition, our self-trust, how that it helps us to resolve our purpose and our vision and our values in the work that we're doing, the community and the co-creating with high intent women, how we can walk shoulder to shoulder, how we can lean on each other, how we can support each other individually and collectively, using our outrage, our grief, our sacred rage, and using our desire and our pleasure and our purpose to direct us and to really refine and hone what that work is. We have got to protect our energy, and we're going to do that by developing very timely rituals and elevating the ones that you already have. We must go deeper and stand taller. This is what we're doing now. So we'll do that, and in community, we'll explore all of this in depth and support each other in learning what those things are, testing them out, trying them out, learning from each other, and maybe, experimenting a little bit. Sometimes you don't know until you've done something and you realize, oh, this is what I've been missing. This is what I need. This is how I can go forward. And take a deep breath. Right? Land in your body. Come back to your body. We are doing this in a way that is life-giving for ourselves and for the work we're doing and for our communities, for the collective, for the individual, and for the whole, because it's all connected. And when we move in that way, there's no going wrong. There's no getting it wrong when we move in that way with that intent. And we We take off. It's the year of the fire horse. We give your inner queen the reins. She knows what she's doing and preparing her whole life for this moment. Give her the reins. Let her run with it. Let her go with it. That is part of this reclaiming, this rite of passage. You as a matriarch, you as leading the matriarchy, creating what we desire and what we so desperately need in the world today. That is, in essence, what we're going to be doing in the Midlife CEO, the 8-week-long journey. It starts in February. Sign up now. Get the early bird discount of $50 off. There's a payment plan. I will leave all of that in the notes here. If those payment plans don't work for you, reach out. We'll find one. We'll find one for you that does, and lock in. This is it. We don't do this alone. We're doing this together. We're kicking this off together in February. We have a new moon breathwork coming up when we kick off the year of the fire horse. Once you register, you'll get access to my quarterly planning workshop. Instantly, you'll get that. You will also get a year-long membership into the Realm community, which is launching in February. You will get a year-long access to the breathwork portal. You will get access to my womb clearing and healing session, my activation session. That'll also be done live. It's over like $2,400 of bonuses for this workshop. And if you sign up today, it'll be around $450 for the 8-week program, plus all the extra bonuses. And it's because I want you there. And this is what we need. And if I didn't think it was what we need right now, I wouldn't be doing it. My energy is precious also. And so I only want to do and create the things that I know will have the most impact. And I know that this is what we need. So whatever level you are at as far as your work goes, as far as how you're showing up goes, you want to elevate it. You want to do it in community. You want to network with high intent women. You want to co-create with high intent women. This is the place to do it. So sign up and you will get access to all those things that I just listed for you. The quarterly planning workshop for yourself, the year-long membership into the Realm, which is kicking off next month. The breathwork portal you'll get instantly. The workshop that I'm hosting live for the womb clearing. Use code EVOLUTION for that $50 discount on your registration for early bird pricing. That's available right now. You don't want to miss out on that. And let me know if you have any questions. If you want to chat, I'm here. We're going to go so much deeper with this, but those are the high level things that I feel like are really driving us forward right now. And I hope that, you were able to sit and tune in and to listen to this and reflect a little bit about each of these areas and how it's showing up for you right now in your life, thinking about some of these things that you can start to incorporate now, even before we begin in February. I think I've given you a lot to work with here as far as what you might be experiencing, what you might be wanting, what you might desire, things you might do to be able to support yourself this year. And then let's go deeper. Let's get you in there, go register, and then we can start doing the prep work, getting you really grounded and well set up before we begin in February. I think the start date I have is February 18th. So you've got a good amount of time to really settle into this idea and get yourself set up for some of these new practices and creating space for this for yourself and allowing space for very high intent movement forward in a way that feels really good, really nourishing and life-giving in community with some really, really incredible women. Okay, I can't wait to see you there. We'll talk soon, loves.